morning. This is another status update on my way to work. Tim was approved for the CAR T-cell treatment, so this is a huge deal because a year ago he was denied that treatment because they required 4 failed attempts at really treating this multiple myeloma. So he's had those 4 failed attempts, including a stem cell transplant in November. So he also did teclistamab in January. His doctor was hopeful that that would last for about a year. It lasted 6 months in his body. He has a very aggressive form of multiple myeloma, so it's kind of been hard to find what will work for it. I think it's fairly common with multiple myeloma and perhaps other cancers to use a certain drug for a while, and then after that doesn't work, they move on to something else, and just kind of keep rotating through different things. When the cancer is really aggressive, it figures that out pretty quickly and then goes back to doing its thing and multiplying throughout the body again. So that's the phase he just entered into recently, probably within the past 4 to 6 weeks. He's been dealing with some pretty aggressive pain in his back, which is the result of a tumor on his fifth thoracic vertebrae. And the tumor is really the site where there's explosive growth of the light chains. So, I'm a little tired. Okay. So, what's going to happen now is on Tuesday of next week, they're going to extract his T cells, and then they're going to begin the process of creating or manufacturing in a lab fighter cells that will be perfectly matched to his particular genetic mutation. And then the end of September, he'll be hospitalized for a week, and they will inject him with whatever they've manufactured. I think what they do, actually, I think this is how it works, so some of you might know this better than me, but they will, I think on the 21st, he'll go in and they'll take all of his, it's like a several hour process where they run his blood through a centrifuge of some kind, and I'm not sure what's happening with that process, but I know that ultimately what will happen is they're going to, I think as they extract whatever this thing is that's created in the lab gets kind of implanted into every single T cell, which transforms it into a CAR T, and then the CAR T goes after the light chains. So your T cells are your fighter cells that are part of your immune system. So so we're in for quite a ride over the next few months. I think the comforting thing to know is that we've been through quite a ride a few different times. And we've been on quite a ride since June of last year. I'm definitely noticing more grays in my hair. My daughter took a picture of me over the weekend when we were in Chicago, and I looked at myself, and it was like a picture from the back, and I was like, is that me? She said yes. In my head, it's has a shelf right about here where the gray has really come in through from the top of my head down to that shelf, and then it's brown from there on out. I said, oh, you know what that is? And she's like, no. And I said, that's cancer. That's when cancer started, that growth right there. So there you have it. toyed with like, do I color it? But I can't be bothered with having to like color and recolor and do all of that stuff, and trying to just embrace my gray. Sometimes it shimmers in the light and it's silver and I think it's fine and I like it, and then other times I'm like, kind of looking like an old lady. But I want to age gracefully. This year I think has put a few extra years on me, and I don't know how graceful it's been. Yeah, we'll save that for another day. So I don't know, I'm like feeling really awesome about this. Tim and I went out for dinner the other night and celebrated, and super excited about the fact that they approved it. I'm just trying to breathe into like the process over the next few months and beyond. I know when we went through it before with the stem cell transplant, it's a lot, but that's okay. Like, we can handle it. If it means he gets to live and be with us, that's awesome. And he's really trying to show up in all of the ways that he can. He does have a good deal of pain in his back, and so that really limits him. Yeah. I think I'm just kind of in that phase of looking around at what do I need to pull off my plate? What do I need to say no to so that I can continue to say yes to this in this particular phase? And I think that's something that I'm really learning with cancer, is that it's not a one and done thing. It's like a ever changing, evolving thing, and sometimes it just becomes a part of your routine life, and you kind of go back to things as usual with it strumming in the background, and then other times it's like the loud note, like it's takes the front and center of the stage and gets all the attention, and when that happens, then other things have to take a back seat. So combining different analogies there. But I think you catch my drift. So I think I'm in this phase right now where I'm acknowledging that it's going to be taking the front and center seat again, and so we just need to make room for it. I'm also acknowledging that we're entering the season where school stuff is starting to pick up, and summer is winding down, and girls are going back to school, and so there's that whole schedule and routine, and there's just one of me. So I need to figure out how to be all things to all people, and a bit of that for myself too. So this morning I was walking, like doing the chores. We've dwindled our animals down quite a bit, but right now we do have I think 18, 19 chickens. We acquired 15 more because eggs are kind of like the one staple of the farm that we've been able to keep going. And there's like a temptation to think like, oh God, I wish I could just like scrap all these chores and just feel like sometimes I forgo my morning self-care routine in favor of taking care of all of the animals. But I could get to bed earlier, and then I could get up earlier, and I'd have time for that. And that's sort of an ongoing battle, because nighttime tends to be time where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna read a little bit longer. I'm just gonna like hang out and do nothing, but I'm awake so that I'm like actually aware I'm doing nothing right now. But this morning, as I was walking around outside, I was just like taking in the sights and sounds and smells, and listening to the birds chirp, and noticing the dew on the grass. And I'm like, the 10 minutes that this takes me each morning is like 10 minutes of therapy. It's 10 minutes of a different type of self-care. It's definitely nurturing time. So I don't know if there's anything more to say this morning, but hope that brings you up to speed a little bit, and thanks for tuning in here. And we definitely welcome your ongoing prayers for the next several weeks and months. He will continue with daratumumab, which is the chemo that he's taking once a week, in addition to the new addition of radiation treatment for his thoracic spine. So his treatment is a full-time job for him. So prayers for that, please. Thank you, and have a lovely day, a lovely middle of your week.